Let me ask you something straight from the heart. Have you ever laid your head down at night hoping for peaceful sleep, only to find yourself waking up again and again, just to use the bathroom? Once, twice, maybe 4, even 5 times before morning comes. Be honest. Has that happened to you, or to someone you love? I'll confess something to you today. I've seen how this problem quietly destroys lives. Seniors who once had full, joyful days suddenly look tired, drained, even irritated, not because they don't want to enjoy life, but because they're waking up all night long, and no one really talks about it, do they? We brush it off as just part of aging, but it's not that simple. Here's a fact most people don't realize. Constant nighttime peeing, or nocturia as doctors call it, doesn't just steal sleep. It increases your risk of falling, weakens your memory, raises your blood pressure, and quietly chips away at your health. In fact, poor sleep is linked to heart disease, weakened immunity, and even a shorter lifespan. So let me ask you, are you really okay with that? With giving away your precious health to something that could be prevented or at least managed? Or are you ready to say, no, I deserve peaceful nights again? You see, sleep is more than rest. It's your body's repair shop. It's when your memory locks in, when your cells heal, when your energy is restored. And yet, many seniors never get a full night's sleep, not because they don't want to, but because their bladder interrupts the process over and over. And here's the sad part. Most people never look deeper. They don't ask why. Some even feel embarrassed to talk about it. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've thought, it's too private, it's too personal, I'll just live with it. But I want you to hear me. This isn't something you have to silently endure. You are not alone in this, and you are not powerless. Over the next hour, I'm going to walk you through simple but powerful daytime habits that can change your nights. Habits that don't require expensive medications or risky procedures, just small adjustments in the way you live your day. We'll cover hydration timing, food swaps, evening routines, gentle exercise, stress control, bladder training, even how naps play a surprising role. And somewhere toward the end, I'll share with you one overlooked trick most seniors never think about, but it can be the difference between a night of endless bathroom trips and a night of deep, uninterrupted rest. Now let me pause for a second, because I need to say this. If you're listening right now and you've been struggling with sleep, but you're not yet subscribed to Elderly Spring, what are you waiting for? Every time you skip that subscribe button, you're choosing to face these struggles alone, while others are here learning and improving their lives. Don't be the one left out, regretting later that you didn't take a simple step today. Click subscribe. Don't wait until another sleepless night forces you to. And let's make this personal. If you're here because you want better sleep for yourself or for a loved one, type in the comments right now, "I'm here for better sleep." I'll be reading those comments, and I want to know who's walking this journey with me. And listen, if you decide you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but at least be honest in the comments and tell us why. Maybe you think sleep isn't important, maybe you believe waking up all night is just normal. If that's your reason, say it. But if you know deep down that this matters, then don't hold back. Subscribe now, because your health is worth more than hesitation. And by the way, for those who want a clear step-by-step plan that ties everything I'm about to share into one simple guide, you can grab a copy of the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. It's in the description below. Think of it as your personal blueprint for peaceful nights and energized mornings. Because here's the truth. Every night you lose to poor sleep, you're losing a little more of your energy, your sharpness, your independence. And yet, you're sitting here, watching this video, searching for answers. Why search for answers and not subscribe to the one channel dedicated to making your senior years healthier and more peaceful? Don't gamble with your health. Hit subscribe now, or at least explain in the comments why you'd walk away from something that could save your nights. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why nighttime peeing happens, but also how your daily choices can either invite or prevent it. You'll leave with real, practical steps you can use tonight, and I promise, you'll never look at your daily habits the same way again. One last thing before we dive deep. Imagine your loved ones looking at you, noticing how tired you are, how restless your nights have become. Do you really want them worrying, while the solution could be right here, waiting for you to take action? Don't make them carry that burden. Subscribe now to Elderly Spring so they can see you taking your health seriously. And if you still choose not to, please, at least tell us in the comments why. Because silence, in this case, is just another way of saying you've given up. Habit 1. Hydration timing. Let's start with something so simple yet so often misunderstood. Water. Picture this, an elderly gentleman named Thomas. Every evening at dinner he pours himself 2 big glasses of water, sometimes even more if the food is salty. He thinks, better to stay hydrated, right? But what happens? Midnight comes, and suddenly he's making 3, 4, even 5 trips to the bathroom. He wakes up tired. His wife wakes up too, and the next morning, both of them feel like they never rested at all. Here's why. When you drink large amounts of water late in the day, your kidneys keep working overtime while you're supposed to be resting. The excess fluid has nowhere to go but the bladder, and your bladder doesn't care that it's 2 a.m. It will wake you up. Now, here's the mistake many people make. They think, if I just stop drinking water altogether, then I won't have to pee at night. But that's dangerous. Your body still needs water to keep your heart healthy, your joints moving, and your memory sharp. Dehydration in seniors can cause confusion, dizziness, even dangerous falls. So what's the real solution? Don't stop drinking water, just change when you drink it. Front-load your fluids in the morning and early afternoon. Drink most of your water before dinner. Then, in the 2 to 3 hours before bed, slowly ease off. A few sips are fine, but no big cups right before sleep. Simple, right? But life-changing. Because once Thomas shifted his water to earlier in the day, he started sleeping longer stretches at night. And his mornings felt lighter, brighter, less groggy. But fluids aren't the only culprit. What you eat also plays a surprising role in whether you sleep soundly or toss and turn. Habit 2. Food choices. Now let's talk about food. Imagine this. You're winding down in the evening. You treat yourself to a small piece of chocolate. Or maybe a cup of coffee after dinner. It feels comforting, like a routine. But what happens when the lights go out? Suddenly your bladder is restless, sending signals all night long. Here's the truth. Certain foods irritate the bladder. Caffeine in coffee, cola, and yes, even chocolate, acts like a stimulant. It doesn't just keep your brain alert, it pushes your kidneys to make more urine. Acidic foods like citrus or spicy meals late in the day can do the same, irritating the bladder lining. The misconception is that herbal teas are harmless, but not all are equal. Green tea, for example, still contains caffeine. Even black tea, if taken late, can stir up your bladder. So what's the solution? Swap those irritants for bladder-friendly foods, especially in the evening. Try a sliced banana, a warm bowl of oatmeal, or even pumpkin seeds. They're not only gentle, but also promote better sleep. And here's a small trick. If you crave something warm at night, try chamomile tea. Naturally caffeine-free, soothing and calming for both body and mind. So you see, what you eat and drink can set you up for either restful sleep or restless nights. And speaking of the evening, what you do right before bedtime matters even more than you might think. Habit 3. Evening routine. Wind down. Let's imagine Robert, a man in his 70s. Every night he falls asleep in his recliner with the TV still blaring. Around midnight, he stumbles to bed half awake. By 3 a.m. he's up again, heading to the bathroom. And even after, he can't seem to fall back asleep. Why? Because he never gave his body a proper signal that it was time to rest. Sleep doesn't just happen. It's a process. Your brain and bladder are both sensitive to your evening routine. If you fall asleep with lights on, screens flashing, or noise in the background, your sleep is shallow. In shallow sleep, your bladder feels every little urge, even ones it could normally ignore. Now, here's the common myth. If I'm tired enough, I'll sleep no matter what. But that's not true. Even when you're exhausted, poor sleep hygiene makes your rest broken and fragile. The solution is to build a gentle wind-down ritual. 1 hour before bed, dim the lights. Switch off the TV and phone screens. Do a few light stretches, read a calming book, or listen to soft music. If you're spiritual, evening prayer or quiet reflection works beautifully. It tells your body, the day is ending, it's time to rest. And when your body knows it's bedtime, your sleep deepens. And deep sleep means your bladder doesn't interrupt as easily. Of course, rest isn't only about what happens at bedtime. Movement during the day sets the stage for deeper, stronger sleep at night. Habit 4. Gentle daytime exercise. Think of Sarah, a 72-year-old woman who started walking just 20 minutes each morning. Nothing intense, just a gentle walk around her block. Within a month, she noticed something unexpected. She wasn't waking up as much at night. Here's why. Exercise strengthens more than your muscles. It strengthens your bladder control and your pelvic floor, the group of muscles that support the bladder. Gentle movement also regulates your hormones and reduces stress, two things that play a big role in sleep quality. The misconception many seniors have is this: at my age, exercise is dangerous. But the truth? Doing nothing is far more dangerous. You don't need to run marathons. Safe, light movement is enough to make a difference. Walking, tai chi, yoga, even chair exercises if you have mobility issues. Every little bit counts. So, if you want your bladder to behave at night, get it moving during the day. But exercise alone won't solve everything. There's another piece of the puzzle: stress. And stress has a much bigger impact on sleep and on the bladder than most people realize. Habit 5. Stress relaxation. Now picture Mary. She's always been a worrier. Every night she lies awake thinking about her children, her bills, her health. And sure enough, she wakes up twice, 3 times, rushing to the bathroom. She tells herself, it's just my bladder. But is it really? Here's the science. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline don't just keep your mind alert. They actually increase the frequency of urination. Anxiety puts your bladder on edge, making it send signals more often than it should. The misconception is that this is only a physical issue, that it's just about the bladder filling up. But no, the mind and body are deeply connected. Stress makes the bladder restless. The solution? Calm the nervous system before sleep. Deep breathing exercises, gentle meditation, a few minutes of prayer, or simply listening to calming music. These are not luxuries, they're tools to tell your body, it's safe, you can rest now. But let's not forget, your bladder itself can be trained, and training it may be one of the most powerful changes you can make. Habit 6. Bladder training. Here's something surprising. Many seniors train their bladder the wrong way without even realizing it. Meet Helen. She goes to the bathroom just in case, 10, maybe 12 times a day. She believes she's preventing accidents, but in reality she's teaching her bladder to signal at the smallest hint of fullness. By nighttime, her bladder is so sensitive that it wakes her up at the slightest urge. This is the big misconception, that emptying the bladder constantly is protective. But it's not. It actually shrinks your bladder's comfort zone. The solution? Slowly space out your bathroom trips. If you normally go every hour, stretch it to 1 hour and 15 minutes, then 1 hour and 30. Teach your bladder patience. Practice urge control. When you feel the need, sit down, breathe deeply, and wait a few minutes before going. Over time, your bladder learns to hold more, and your nights become longer, quieter. And finally, there's one overlooked factor almost everyone ignores: naps. Yes, even your nap habits affect your nights. Habit 7. Napping. Wisely. Let's think about George. He loves his afternoon naps. Sometimes he dozes for 2 hours after lunch. At night, though, he struggles. He lies awake, restless, then finally falls asleep, only to wake up 2-3 times to use the bathroom. Here's why. Long naps confuse your internal clock. Your body thinks it's already had its sleep. That disrupts your circadian rhythm, the natural cycle that controls both your sleep and your bladder activity. The misconception is that any daytime sleep is good sleep, but that's not true. Naps can help, but only short ones. The solution? Limit naps to 20-30 minutes, and never too late in the day. A short nap refreshes you. A long one steals your night. So, if you want your bladder and your brain working in sync, keep naps light and early. Now that we've covered all 7 habits, let's take a step back and see the bigger picture. To recap, here are the 7 powerful habits we've covered so far: adjusting hydration timing, choosing bladder-friendly foods, building a calming evening routine, adding gentle exercise, managing stress, training the bladder, and keeping naps short and smart. Each of these may look small on its own, but together they create nights of deep, uninterrupted rest. Because remember, nighttime peeing isn't just inconvenient. It robs you of energy, focus, and joy. And over time, it takes more than sleep. It can take your independence. That's why I created the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. Inside, you'll find a simple step-by-step guide that ties all these strategies together: specific food lists, evening routines, and relaxation tools, all designed for seniors who want their nights back. You can check it out in the description below. Let's pause for a moment, and let me speak directly to you, because I know this struggle all too well. Waking multiple times at night. It can feel like your own body is betraying you. You close your eyes hoping for rest, but instead, you're dragged out of bed again and again. And the next day, you walk through life half awake, drained, and maybe even frustrated with yourself. It's exhausting, not just for you, but for the people who love you too. And maybe you've thought to yourself, well, this is just aging, nothing I can do. But let me stop you right there, because now you know the truth. It's not just age. It's not your body failing you. So much of this comes down to habits that can be gently adjusted. You've seen it already: hydration timing, food swaps, movement, calming your mind, even naps. These aren't impossible changes. They're within your reach. That means you're not powerless. You are not at the mercy of your bladder. You have tools, and you can reclaim your nights. Think about this. What would it feel like to wake up after 7, maybe even 8 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep? To open your eyes in the morning and feel rested instead of heavy? To have the energy to enjoy breakfast with your family? To take a walk in the fresh air? To laugh without that dragging fatigue hanging over you? Imagine the joy of spending your day fully awake, fully alive, not fighting the fog of sleepless nights, but living with clarity, strength, and peace. That life is possible for you. And the beautiful thing is, you've already started that journey, simply by being here and listening. You've chosen knowledge over frustration. You've chosen hope over helplessness. And I want you to hold on to that hope, because better nights, calmer mornings, and brighter days, they're not just dreams. They're within your reach, starting now. So let's bring it all together. We've walked through 7 powerful habits that can completely change your nights. Drinking your water earlier in the day, choosing foods that calm rather than irritate your bladder, creating a gentle evening wind down, moving your body with light daily exercise, finding peace through relaxation and stress control, training your bladder with patience instead of fear, and finally, keeping naps short and smart. Put them together, and what you have is a roadmap, not just to better sleep, but to brighter mornings and stronger, healthier days. Now let me ask you this: out of these 7 habits, which one speaks to you the most right now? Which of these are you going to try first? I want you to scroll down to the comments and share it, because your answer might inspire someone else who's struggling with the same problem. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the reason another person finds hope. And if this has helped you in any way, then don't keep it to yourself. Go ahead and subscribe to Elderly Spring right now. This channel is here for you, for your health, your independence, your peace of mind. Every week I share simple but powerful ways to make your senior years brighter and more restful. And if you've been nodding along today, thinking, yes, this is exactly what I needed to hear, then why wouldn't you subscribe? This is your community. Don't walk this road alone. And before we go, I want to leave you with this. Thank you for being here, not just for listening, but for caring about your health. Thank you for valuing yourself enough to learn, to grow, and to change. That's not small. It's huge. It shows strength. So stay strong, stay rested, and remember, you are never too old to create better days and peaceful nights. I'll see you in the next video.